you can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News, and I'm James Creechbaum. For all the truckers out there, be careful with the weather once again. Eastbound Interstate 70 in Colorado was closed earlier today around exit 180. They're calling for 3 to 6 inches into Friday, so watch the roads there. Also in the Michigan Grand Rapids area, they're talking about light snow and very slick bridges. Beware the bridges, and snow will be on and off in through the night into tomorrow. A major winter storm will be developing in the Rockies, so long-haul drivers, you may want to wait this one out. Also, the Northwest, the western state of Washington and Oregon is going to have rain once again, and some heavy rain. Over in the eastern part of Washington and Oregon into Idaho, there's going to be freezing rain in a mix. Over in the eastern part, it's going to be snow and heavy snow into Montana, Wyoming, and Nebraska. And you get further over into the plains, into Michigan, there's going to be snow, and then freezing rain from Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, into Ohio, into a little bit of Pennsylvania, and New York. Now, the southern Atlantic states, rain and sometimes heavy rain and chance of thunderstorms and tornadoes. So be careful out there on the roads. Some Bigfoot sightings have been coming in. And here's a couple of reports. Let's see where we're at here. I had an experience with a Sasquatch in Georgia at the Cohutta Wildlife Management Area. The experience was unreal. And it scared me to death because the Sasquatch I saw killed a deer in front of me and saw me watching him. Too long to describe in detail here, but let's just say I never, ever will go back in the woods before daylight again. Even to this day, I still have nightmares about the encounter and can see this creature standing maybe 30 yards in front of me. It was so close and also terrifying. Okay, now next. International Skinwalker Ranch, a place where some kind of delivery or devilry is going on. The sprawling 480 acres that comprise an area in northeastern Utah known as Skinwalker Ranch have long been considered a hotbed of paranormal activity. Bizarre stories of strange phenomena such as flying orbs, unkillable animals, Bigfoot or Yeti-like creatures, triangular black UFOs, cattle mutilations, telepathic communications, poltergeist, and other types of odd sightings and occurrences on this vast tract of land have been reported for over 100 years now. Well, giant funnel web spider is twice the average size. Yeah, a gargantuan funnel web spider that is double the normal size for its species has been discovered in Australia. Fortunately, it was quickly picked up and taken to the John Hunter Hospital in Newcastle before being transported to the Australian Reptile Park, where it will become part of a special milking program that collects venom for use in the development of treatment for spider bites. Now, funnel webs are often considered to be one of the most dangerous species of spiders in the world, as they are capable of delivering a very nasty bite that has the potential to prove deadly. Researchers believe that this particular specimen managed to reach its colossal size due to the period of very wet weather followed by intense heat, the perfect combination for funnel web spiders. Well, here's a little paranormal story that came in from a trucker. About 10 minutes into my nap, I was awakened by a barking dog. I tried to ignore it, but the bark carried on for several minutes, and it grew louder and closer. At this point, it became clear that he's either trying to alert me of something or he's just being a pain in the butt. So I sat up and looked out my window, and what I saw left me motionless. Standing there, inches on the other side of the glass, was a man around 35 years of age. Now, he was a large fellow, and he was barking at me. His eyes were crazy, and he was even frothing a little bit from his mouth. The sheer creepiness struck me, and gently, without making any sudden movements, I reached down and started my truck and slowly started to pull away. As I was doing so, he was chasing after me, much like you would expect any angry dog, and still barking at me as he was chasing me. As I kept pulling away, needless to say, I don't take naps on the job anymore. Next news break, top of the hour.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me from the Pacific to the East Coast to worldwide. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with me, Gary. And tonight we got a great show. Our guest tonight is Joe Taylor. He runs a museum of fossils in Texas, in Blanco, Texas. Tonight he's going to be on talking, about Mothman, Bigfoot, and monsters. So that's going to be really interesting, and that'll be starting at 7:05 tonight. And coming up here any minute now, or about 3 minutes from now, we got Ryan. He's going to be giving us the latest reports in UFOs. So we got a really good show lined up for you tonight. Now, last night's show on Flat Earth, boy, I got more emails than I have ever got on any show ever. And I mean ever. It did not stop. It was one right after another. I think it is something like about 600 that believe that, the world is round, and maybe 3, it feels the earth is flat. And I had nobody, come back and say that we live in a huge box. I had a couple people say that we maybe are a hologram, or maybe we're a civilization in some type of game that some alien is running. Who knows? But it was an interesting show anyway. What did you think, James?
It was very interesting. And I'll tell you, he did make one point that I still scratch in my head. I don't have an answer for, and it did make a lot of sense. And that was about the vacuum, how, anything in a vacuum, it would just implode. And space is theoretically a huge vacuum, so I get what he's saying about that. But otherwise, the other things, I don't know. I did
do some research on that. The spacesuit, if you're in a spacesuit, it's just like you're in a space shuttle or you're in a submarine. That spacesuit is its own vessel, and you're in it. So that right there, I think, answers the question that he was saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's basically, it makes sense. Spacesuit is basically a miniature shuttle that you're in.
Well, it's a vessel. The same way a submarine is its own atmosphere, its own vessel. A space capsule or any of that. An aircraft, a commercial aircraft plane, has its own, pressurized system. Well, that's the same way you're in a spacesuit. So now that kind of debunks a little bit what he said.
Yeah, that makes sense there, what you just said. I never really thought of it like that. But, it pretty much would have to be, or you would die.
Well, yeah, I did a lot of research on that today because, I was scratching my head last night. I go, hey, what he said kind of makes sense. Till I kind of started reading stuff from NASA, started reading stuff from Jet Propulsion Lab, and then a whole bunch of, scientists. And they all say the same thing, a spacesuit. If you Google what does a spacesuit does, it'll tell you. It's its own vessel. So you're in a self-contained unit. Now, if it got a puncher in it, well, then you're going to be a goner because it's going to do what he said it would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I say. And who am I other than, myself? Okay, well, we got Ryan should be on the line. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, my friend?
Hello.
Yeah, did you listen to the show last night by any chance?
I didn't catch last night. I did catch the one with the lady that was talking about her father worked for the nuclear company.
Okay.
With, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, last night we had somebody that, is a advocate of the world being flat. But he takes it one more step farther. James, tell me if I'm wrong, but we're in a huge, big box, a huge warehouse, maybe 20,000 miles long and who knows how wide and how tall. But that's what we're, some aliens or somebody or God put us in this little, container of a box, and that is our planet.
And also the sun and the moon are basically painted on top of the roof of the box, if I understood he said it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's some pretty crazy artwork. I don't know.
I don't know. I was saying
pretty hard to believe.
Well, before you came on, I was mentioning I had so many emails last night, and people on Instant Messenger, and people off of Twitter, and a couple other things I'm on that listened to the show, and it was going on and on saying, why did you waste your airtime last night? Why do you really believe we're in a box? It was just questions like that. I mean, out of all these people, 3 people kind of believe that we're in a hologram, or we're running on a computer chip, or maybe the world is flat. 3 people out of literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that emailed and messaged me, that doesn't believe, that we're on a flat Earth. But what can I say? It was rather an interesting show last night. I didn't even know what to ask the guy, because some of the things he was saying is just like, I was sitting back here drinking my tea and trying to keep from spitting it out on the monitors.
It's always good to hear someone else's point of view, though, that's for sure. But that's hard for me to take in. So. Okay.
Now, before you get going, we were supposed to have done the website last week. We're going to start this weekend revamping it. I mean, major time. You're even going to get a whole page on the website completely. That if you ever been on Coast to Coast or any of these other websites, it's going to be probably equal to that. That's what our plan is, to totally ramp it up. So James will have his own page. You'll have